Raphael, I got a bone to pick with you. What do you mean, Steve? I just got here. You see? I've heard you've been talking smack. I've been doing no such thing. No, don't try to lie about it. I watched your movie. I didn't appreciate what you had to say. What are you going on about? The film Critters? That's a classic.
Hey man, just welcome to Super Report Reviews. My name's Steve.
My name's Arnes.
And today I'll be going over the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 16.5-inch Raphael. This is based off of the film Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 1990.
The original
one. This is designed to look like the suit that you see inside the movie, which was done by Jim Henson. We previously did the review for Donatello, who was the first one to come online. So you guys haven't checked that review out, definitely go check it out. Great review.
Why did they put out Donatello first?
He's my personal favorite, so I appreciate it. Actually, Raphael's probably my least favorite out of the original.
Oh, that's mean.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like Donatello was cool because voiced by Corey Feldman, so of course, awesome. And then Michelangelo's funny. Leonardo was the leader and pretty sweet. Raphael was just like super angry all the time. It just never really caught on to me as a kid.
I actually like him because he is super angry.
Yeah, well, he's like the guy that always gets into the fights. So he's the reason why we have action scenes in the movie to begin with. And the main reason I picked up this guy is because I personally love the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle film. It's my personal favorite. And since I bought Donatello, I'm going to buy all of them. So we have to pick up Raphael. But anyways, without further ado, for his packaging, it's mostly the same as what we got with Donatello's packaging, except for just this Raphael here on the bottom. But the front of it is trying to replicate the original poster for the movie. Also the same thing you saw on some of the VHSs. You got Nickelodeon on the bottom. On the side, you got pretty much the entire thing kind of conveys a VCR because you have the black siding where you get some nice shots of Raphael as the figure. Got NECA there on the bottom. Other side, just different poses. Back of the packaging, you just get him in some even more poses. I really love the rooftop scene right there.
Really? I really like how it says NECA down there in like the 1990s style.
Yeah, kind of like what they had on the back of the VHSs. And then you have a little bit of a description for it as well. And some legal mumbo jumbo. But anyways, let's get into the actual figure here. Alright, so now that we have Raphael opened up out of his cardboard prison, first we're going to go over his hand accessories, which he comes with quite a few hands. I got one problem though, which we'll just start with that one.
Wait, are all the hands necessary, Steve?
No. He comes with a pair of grasping hands, which is primarily for holding on to his size. Now, he also comes with a pair of grasping hands for holding onto his side.
Wait, what's the difference?
Alright, so the primary difference, and it took me a second to figure this out, because initially I had these actually inside, but I pulled them out so you guys could see the difference, is, you'll notice for the joints, for these ones, the joint could swing back and forth, going towards the wrist, and towards the back here, going towards the knuckles. Now the other ones go from side to side on the wrist, going from the top of the wrist to the bottom. So these ones don't actually go forward and back. That is literally the only difference. So pretty much they give you a little bit more variety in the posability. Problem is when you have it actually inside of his arm, he doesn't really get too much wiggle room anyways. So it kind of is just silly to give us the same exact hand, in my opinion, especially when the articulation isn't that crazy to begin with on this figure. So
waste of money.
Well, at least like I kind of wish they would have just gave us more hands that Donatello had, because for the most part, for the rest of this figure, the ones I have currently on him are the grasping hand, which is for his pizza, which you got with Donatello. He also comes with the cupping hand that you could also use for like the bow staff, or for this figure, it's just more for posing purposes, like martial arts, what have you. But again, same as what we got with Donatello. Then he comes with a open palm hand, again, more for martial arts moves. And the new one, which is a pointing finger.
If that's what you want to call it, Steve.
Yes, pointing finger. That's what... I guess it's you could say he's flipping people off too. But what's kind of cool about this one is with the size, you can kind of set it up to where he's holding them inwards when you get it in there, so that's pretty sweet. But for the most part, it doesn't like to stay in there very well. Yeah, it kind of likes to pop out, but it's what you see on the back of the box. So this is what allows you to do that. For the most part, I think I would use it for more just pointing than anything. Because if I'm going to have them holding on to it, I want them to kind of holding on to these sides securely. So for the most part, the hands are a little bit of a letdown. It's probably the most let down thing on the figure because you get literally two of the same pairs of hands outside of the joints. Like, just give us a little bit more variety, or even just in terms of accessories, gave us a little bit more in that regards. Because for his accessories, you get a pair of sides, which for the side is done in a hard plastic, which is a little bit different than what you get with the rest of the figure, which is a little bit more flexible. So the sides are the scariest thing on this figure because these could easily snap if he falls and lands on top of these. So be a little mindful of that. But you get the center blade here, which is done in a metallic silver. And then the rest of this is done in a dark brown, which is there to replicate leather wrapping around for the handle here. Which overall looks really good. The only thing that kind of sucks on this is on mine, on the tip here, you can see where it popped off on the assembly line, where they would snap these off, so it's a little bit warped right here. And then for my other one, it's actually starting to lose some paint at the tip here from rubbing with the, when inserting it into his holsters. So I kind of wish they maybe would have put a little bit more protective or protectant over top of the paint here to keep it from rubbing off. But outside of that, still really nice looking size though. Really cool accessories for him.
I don't know if I like him, Steve. My biggest thing is I'll be worried that would break.
Well, the one issue I have is when you want to holster him up, yeah, just slide him in. And the thing is when trying to put these in, they rub up here against his thigh, as you can see here. So if you have him holstered, it kind of limits his leg posability, which is kind of like, it's to be expected.
Well, not even that. It's going to wear out the paint on there for...
That's the biggest concern that I have. I wish maybe there was a little bit more flexibility here in the belts in order to give it a little bit more playroom so that it could slide a little bit more side to side, or maybe stuck out a little bit more, because again, a lot of this is going to be rubbing up on the sides, so you have to worry about excessive play with the size rubbing off the paint on the leg and the size.
Well, at least they'll turn green, I guess, after a while.
So kind of like rust. And then finally he comes with his own slice of pizza, which is also same thing we got with Donatello. And that's it for the accessories. So Donatello came with the canister of ooze, and Raphael does not come with anything like that.
What?
So in terms of accessories, he's a little bit lackluster compared to Donatello. I maybe would have liked to seen one extra thing, or even if they didn't replicate the hands. Like, I get what they were going for, but to me it was still kind of silly. Actually, you know what would have been great? If he would have came with his top hat.
Instead of the ooze of
Yeah, instead of like give him his own signature accessory, just like a little hat you could put on top. Just like you saw when he goes to watch Critters.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't need the trench coat. That could be its own figure, I understand. But it would have been cool to at least have the hat. Or maybe a Hokisei Kenseiko bat. I was going to say he should come with like the bells, but I'm like, oh yeah, that's Turtles too.
Wrong one, Steve.
But for a closer look at his details for his head sculpt, looks fantastic. Just like with Donatello, captures the character very nicely. It looks pretty much straight ripped from the movie. Except for he's got a little hair right here on his lower lip. For the most part, like, I know initially when I got this figure, the way that they posed his face kind of bothered me a little bit.
Always angry, sort of upset look. I'm disappointed at you.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like he's angry, but kind of annoyed. But then again, kind of Donatello was like that too. It wasn't very relaxed. Because the thing is I've seen Michelangelo. Michelangelo looks happy as, like, just goofy.
I was about to say, he better be happy.
Yeah, he looks happy. So, like, I feel like with the rest of the Turtles, he's going to look a little weird. But there's plenty of times, like, Raphael is fairly happy in the movie. But over time, I do like the look. I think it actually looks really good. Like, it's fitting for Raphael. And then he has this little scar here on the top of his cheek. Eyes are done very nicely. Which is kind of cool, too, because, like, it looks like he's squinting a little bit, so there's a little bit more shade underneath this bandana than on the other side with the lighting.
He's a squinter.
A little bit. And then he has green eyes. The skin looks really nice too, where they get that nice pigmentation where you have a little bit of the black fading in and out. And then for Raphael, he's actually a little bit of a lighter shade of green than Donatello. Ever so slightly, but I do appreciate the color difference because it kind of helps to replicate Donatello. Yeah, we'll show you in the comparisons. And then for his bandana, done in his trademark red, the back here is actually cloth. So just like we mentioned on Donatello, the only thing I get concerned is over time this could get dirty and dusty. So that or with too much play it could also possibly tear. But I think it's really cool. Like it helps to give you that overall like authentic turtle look.
But look at it this way, if it's plastic, you know how much easier that would be to break off at the end?
Well, the problem is like if it was plastic, it'd be fixed in one pose.
Yeah.
And I kind of like how it just drapes over the figure. Then for his body, you pretty much have the standard turtle fare where you have the yellow-orange as front of the shell with the brown transitioning towards the back of the shell. And then for the back of his shell, what's kind of cool in comparison to Donatello is Donatello's shell was clean here on the back. Raphael actually has a bunch of little scars on the back of his shell. So you can definitely tell he's a little bit more rough and tumble than Donatello.
You know, I don't remember that from the movie, so now I want to go put it in just to see if he actually has battle damage like that on the back of his shell.
It's pretty cool, especially since, because I initially, when I seen them putting out these turtles, I thought they would mostly be like cut and paste. Each of the turtles would be exactly the same, just different head sculpts and accessories pretty much, and the holsters for their weapons. But Raphael actually has a little bit of differences, which is really nice. Then for his holster, just has the two little straps right here to hold in the size. A little bit of metallic silver here for the studs to hold that in. On the back here, get a little bit more, and also the little flap where it wraps around the tie-in. Looks really nice. And for his arms, very muscular with some nice little bulges here for the bicep. Really love the overall appearance of this because, again, it kind of harkens back a lot to that Jim Henson suit. Then he's got his leather elbow pads, which look really nice too. Got some what appears to be little ropes here tying in with some metallic silver there for the rings. Has a little cloth wrapping around his wrist, and then the hand details look nice. And then for each of the fingers, they got a little bit of dirt here under the nails, so you can definitely tell he's not the cleanest character. And then for his legs, very muscular. You have some veins running down the sides of his thighs. Mine, though, has a weird little mark here on the side of his leg. I'm not really sure what that is, but it's just like weird paint blemish. And then he also has some leather knee pads. And then for the bottom of his feet, gigantic calves. And then his two toes with some more dirt underneath the nails. And then moving on to Raphael's articulation, his head can look to the left and to the right. Can move a little bit up and down, but nothing too crazy. Shoulders can go up about that far, down about that far. Has a nice rotation all the way around. For the elbows, can bend inwards about that far, straighten up about that far. Rotation at the elbow, rotation at the hand, and depending on the hand is which way it could swivel. But these ones can move in and out. But it's nothing too crazy because the plastic right here for the wrapping gets in the way of some of the articulation. A little bit of a wiggle inside of the chest, but not real any articulation anywhere inside of the body. Legs can go outwards about that far, inwards about that far. You have a rotation here at the top part of the thigh. Can also move a little bit forward and a little bit back, but again, shell gets in the way there. Has a bend at the knee. Can bend inwards about that far, straighten up about that far. A little bit of rotation, nothing too crazy. And the feet can go all the way around and bend forward and back. So some quick comparisons here. We have the 16.5-inch tall Raphael compared next to his brother Donatello. And here is some Playmates action figures with the Playmates Classic Collection movie series Raphael from the exact same film. And the WWE Superstar Sting, or Raphael dressed as Sting. And here's Raphael compared next to Tor the Shuttlezord from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Now that's a real turtle right there, Steve.
And here he is compared next to the NECA 18-inch doll Gypsy Danger from Pacific Rim. Alright, I think that's good for comparisons, right?
No, we need one more, Steve. You need a real comparison in here.
No.
Okay.
Okay, I'll bring her back. I'm sorry. There he is, right next to the Playmates TMNT.
What do you think?
April O'Neil. So overall, with the NECA 16.5-inch tall Raphael from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I still think this figure is really awesome in the end, though. For details, really great. Articulation's very solid for this figure as well. Looks pretty much straight ripped from the movie, which is really what I want from these NECA figures. My only real complaints with this guy is I maybe wish he would have came with some more accessories or at least some more alternate hands instead of giving us two of the exact same pairs, which again is kind of silly, but I get where they're going with it. But still, I feel like he's worth the value, though.
I feel like you're just being too picky, Steve.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to get a lot in the comments. No offense. But it's just like, compared to Donatello, which was easily my favorite figure of last year that came out, because he came with pretty much everything I wanted for a Donatello, except maybe like an extra head, if I really want to be picky.
See? Super picky, man.
And Raphael is a little bit disappointing compared next to Donatello. But that being said, he's still a solid buy.
I like him.
Yeah, especially if you're really into the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film, then do not pass up on the hothead. But what do you guys think? If you guys picked up the 16.5-inch tall Raphael, what figure would you like to see NECA put on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle line? Or is Masked Rider just more your thing? Please let us know in the comments. We'll post a picture of this guy on our website if you want to click the link in the description below. We also have a Patreon account if you guys like to support the channel, also down there. And help us defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button. Subscribe, become a ranger today. See you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.